Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning to you. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Hope you had an absolutely fantastic weekend. In our case, here in southern Oklahoma, I would say I hope you stayed cool. We had temperatures, actual temperatures of 103, 104, with a heat index of 107, 108. And look, I'm kind of a hot weather guy, but I actually had to go in on one occasion. I just told my wife, I said, wow, I mean, this is too hot even for me. And that's really saying something. So anyway, it's good to have you back. Now, before I continue this morning with our discussion of the Olivet Discourse and Jesus's statements concerning his coming as a thief, I want to remind you of the very, very special August 2020, incredibly good discounted price on my two brand new books. Number one, Watching for the Parousia, where Jesus' apostles confused, and Paul on Trial, Paul the Pharisees and the Resurrection. When you order these two books, you will get Can God Tell Time free, or, all right? If you order these three books and you've already got a copy of Can God Tell Time, or if you would just simply prefer a copy of my other book, He Came as a Thief, just go ahead and order that three-book special, but send a note saying, please substitute He Came as a Thief. Now, I apologize for having to say this, okay? But I have never had, it's wonderful to say this in one way, but I've never had such a powerful response to a special introduction of new books ever. I had ordered a really, really good supply of this book as well as this. I thought I had more than sufficient books to cover orders that would come in. I was wrong. Thankfully, wonderfully, but I was wrong. If you have ordered this three-book special and you haven't gotten it yet, it is because I'm waiting for another large shipment of this book, Were Jesus' Apostles Confused? I've got quite a stack of orders laying over here on the edge of my desk. Now, if you order just this book, Paul on Trial, no problem. I've got a very good supply of this book on hand. But I ask your indulgence. I ask you to please be patient with me. I do apologize. Again, I have never had such a response to the introduction of a new book before. I mean, I'd never ordered, quite honestly, I'd never ordered as many books at one time for an introduction as I did on this one, and yet, boom, they went, they left, they were gone. So, I'm very proud to say that. I'm thrilled to say about it. I appreciate your interest. Listen, it's more than obvious. It's more than obvious that both of these books have hit a nerve and that people are interested in both of these issues. So take advantage of this offer. It only lasts through August 2020, U.S. orders only. And by the way, for all of those of you who are overseas who have contacted me to purchase PDFs, thank you for your wonderful response. Okay, with that said, now by the way, some of you may be wondering, now Don, you went in your discussion of the Lord's coming as a thief, you jumped from where you were in Thessalonians all the way to Revelation. What about 2 Peter 3? Well, we're getting there, okay? I had a purpose in doing that. So just be patient with me. So in our last discussion of the Lord's coming as a thief, and remember, here's the argument. The argument is made that in Matthew chapter 24, 4 to 34 and 35, Jesus discussed his spiritual coming in AD 70. He gave signs of that event. But in Matthew chapter 24, 43 and following, he discusses his coming as a thief. Now, it was also supposed to be like his coming as in the days of Noah. So, like I pointed out in my discussion of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, either Paul was a horrible illustrator, but it's also true of Jesus. Because you see, if the coming of Christ as a thief was to be like the coming of the flood in the days of Noah, guess what? There were signs of the coming of the flood. So you can't say, oh, the coming as a thief was without signs, and it was just like it was in the days of Noah. Or the coming of the Lord as a thief was just like the coming of travail on a woman who is pregnant. Well, I'm sorry, she has signs. So we have to find a way to harmonize all of that. But in Revelation chapter 16, we have another reference. You know, we're going from Revelation 3 to Revelation chapter 16. Now remember, Revelation chapter 3 teaches us unequivocally and undeniably that the Lord's coming as a thief at an hour which was not known to the church, and it wasn't known, not because they did not know it was coming, not because they were not supposed to be watching, but because they were not watching and because they had died. Oh, pretty sure they hadn't died physically, right? So he continues in Revelation chapter 16, Revelation does, with another direct discussion and allusion to the Lord's coming as a thief. Now I'm going to begin with Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12. Then the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, so that the way of the kings from the east might be prepared. By the way, I would make this observation. Peter Leithart, in his 2-volume commentary on the book of Revelation, and the first volume is magnificent, the second volume just goes completely off tracks, but nonetheless, in his commentary, he makes note of the fact that the Roman armies approaching Jerusalem came from the east, and they crossed the Euphrates. Interesting. Anyway, I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are spirits of demons performing signs which go out to the kings of the earth and of the whole earth, and to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Here's the great day of the Lord. Behold, I am coming as a thief. Blessed is he who watches and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Here is the great day of the Lord. It is the great day of the Lord and is coming as a thief. But when would this be? What is the context of this great day of the Lord? Well, the context is, we go back to verse 4. The third angel poured out his bowl on the rivers and springs of water, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the water saying, You are righteous, O Lord, the one who was and is, who was and who is to be, because you have judged these things, for they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for it is their just due. Wait, what's this? This is the time of the vindication of the martyrs. Wait, it would be the time of the vindication of the martyrs in the judgment of Babylon. Verses 19 through 21. So here is the great day of the Lord, which is his coming as a thief. His coming as a thief, therefore, would be at the time of the vindication of the martyrs. The time of the vindication of the martyrs was to be at the judgment of Babylon. Who was Babylon? Revelation 11, verse 8 answers that question. It is that great city, quote, where the Lord was crucified. unquote. Oh, it's also the city that was called Sodom and Egypt. Did you realize, as I demonstrate in my book, Who is This Babylon?, that the only city in all of the Bible that is spiritually designated as Sodom was Old Covenant Jerusalem. That's right. The only city in all of the Bible that is spiritually designated as Sodom, I think I said Babylon, but no, as Sodom was Old Covenant Jerusalem. Isaiah chapter 1, Isaiah 16, Isaiah 23. And again, I lay all this out in great detail in my book on Who is This Babylon? When did Jesus say, folks, that all of the righteous blood of all the righteous martyrs, from righteous Abel unto Zacharias son of Barachias, son of whom they had slain between the temple and the altar, when did Jesus say that blood would be avenged? Well, Jesus said, verily I say unto you, all of these things will come upon this generation. And you know what? We have some former preterists now saying, well, it's just ridiculous to say that all of that blood would be avenged in AD 70. By whose judgment? By whose standard? By whose definition is it ridiculous to accept the Lord's words? And so, here in Revelation chapter 16, we have a direct commentary, a direct definition of the great day of the Lord, His coming as a thief at the judgment of Babylon, which was Old Covenant Jerusalem. You know what that means? It means that Matthew 24 cannot be divided. It means that the Lord's coming as a thief was His coming against Jerusalem to avenge the blood of the martyrs. The Olivet Discourse cannot be divided. Hey, thank you so much for joining me for this morning's morning musings. Don't forget, hey, time is running out for you. You don't want to fail to take advantage. Go to my website, DonKPreston.com, BibleProphecy.com. Order the August 2020 U.S. orders only 3-book special. It's actually a 2-book special with a free book thrown in. And again, if you want to substitute, Can God Tell Time? He came as a thief for Can God Tell Time? Just go ahead and order the book special and send me a note saying, Don, I would like to have the Thief Coming book instead. All right? Thank you for joining me. We've got more. See you on the flip side.